as the reigning kings. But Sentinels have been sitting comfortably on top when you go from site to site, checking out who the number 1 through 10 teams are in North America. And if you're looking at that specifically, I think we might quite possibly have an upset on our hands as we jump on into things. And mid control going to be the name of the game early in round 1. Guys, the quarterfinals of the Valorant Champions Tour Challengers Open Qualifier number 1 starts right now.
And it starts silently at that, Tanner. Mid control has been completely conceded, and AndBox have taken control of it. Sentinels, they much rather would play a bit more passive. You see Sinatra holding this angle with a frenzy. It's kind of the dynamic duo with him, if you would. What he's going to do here, probably toss out those paint shells as soon as he hears or sees contact being made, and their 6 are waiting on the site as well to provide perhaps a nice necessary bit of crossfire. Push comes in though. AndBox, they need to move quick right now, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. There it is. Android pushes in, finds the opening kill. This is huge now for the attacking side here.
Yeah, what was traded back in that wall is absolutely separating everything on this side as a nice tag comes through. Dapper with the spray down, not even killing the
one enemy remaining.
First, is able to find a 4th.
One enemy remaining.
Is still alive. Finally, Android sits him down.
Now 30 seconds
left. And kick things off earlier here in the round. Up towards mid, got a nice little dink. I believe onto Sinatra up towards heaven and forced him back. It allowed that B take to come through. Now with spike in hand and 26 HP, not able to close it out. It is Zombs instead. And Sentinels, maybe against all odds here on split, go back to their winning ways. And AndBox, their map pick, it's followed by the wayside by what?
Well, it's just the first round, though. It's still very early days, all things considered. And since that one was so close, it's a bit of a gamble if AndBox actually choose to force up, because they did make that close for, if you zoom out a little bit, they made it incredibly competitive. And I think that 1v1 could have easily gone the way of Android because of the fiery performance that he had yesterday. But it isn't going to be a save, or excuse me, it isn't going to be a force-up, rather. It's going to be a save. So a couple of sheriffs across the board, but all in all, you're going to see AndBox probably give up this round for the most part. You're going to have to see some crazy shots hit. Valorant, it's such a mechanical game, and right now they're kind of spreading their wings wide and really not messing with anything else crazy. AndBox actually do find the opening kill. That's Ye to find the opener onto Shazam. And AndBox, now you see they're biased towards A. They're moving all their players into formation, but there is a Spike who's still sitting over towards Sewer. That's a potential mid-pincer you're looking at.
Android once more. Playing around that mid position with the wall there. Things kind of get harder. It looks like that wall did just drop down, and it's a 4-point stance as that's all they've got. A lot when it comes to the players' numbers. Now rotating over towards this B site and through B main, they've got that nice Viper's wall, so that toxic screen. It provides the concealment, but not the cover, right? Obviously can still be shot through, and if you're sprinting on through, they obviously can expect you to be coming.
30 seconds left.
Cam, try and get some info.
Good peek.
Nice little jump peek there. Down the cyber case and able to find the kill through the smoke. Make it another. Dapper looking to have himself a game. Sinatra gonna back him up, but fall, and Sentinel should be able to close this one out. Okay, it's looking spooky. Seb was looking to make him his way onto that highlight reel for tomorrow's video. Unfortunately, not able to do it with the Sheriff. It's expected, but now we get rifles and we get to see AndBox. It's slow to start, but then once they do get it rolling, everybody starts firing on all cylinders. They start moving forward. It's that W key, that aggressive approach, and I kind of like that. I like that they're not necessarily choosing one or the other. They're getting a nice little mix of both, and they're playing the entire map. You start at A, you make your way towards mid, you feel it out, you end up on B, and then last round rather, on the pistol, they were looking to do the opposite. They started on B, went back towards mid, tried to get to A, and unfortunately they died. So we'll see now with rifles if they keep that same approach. It's a little harder to run and gun. Some people in chat might feel differently about the run and gun, but we'll see how it turns out here.
Well, changes apparently coming soon in that regard, but Sentinels have taken heavy damage in both of these rounds so far. Again, still early days, anything can happen, but Sentinels do have a inferior buy. It's inarguable to say right now. Not to say that they don't have Phantoms, they most definitely do, and a very important player is actually holding over towards Heaven. The undeniable MVP from yesterday, Sick, has it available to him. Shazam awaiting alongside his teammate over towards Vents, towards Ropes. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to walk into this trap, but no, they seem poised on the idea. Boy finds the opening frag, but he needs to actually do a little bit more here. Shazam, it's not going to be the case. He gets 2 before he eventually falls, but it's still only a 3 versus 3. Sentinels are keeping even so far, but this next frag needs to go their way, or else everything just might go wrong. There it is. Blue appears in the kill feed, and it's all going the way of Sentinels as they close it out. 2 players are left standing. That being Sick as well as Dapper. And right now, they are looking more than Dapper. They are looking fancy. Sentinels, they get off to a wonderful start. Now 3-0, and the money is also going to be in their favor.
Heavily in their favor. I think at the least, or at the most rather, we see from AndBox is that Sheriff light armor like we're seeing on Ye right now. I can imagine they can force up a little bit, but hoping to buy in that next round. And I think notable for AndBox is they're just running the Raze as far as duelists. So this eco round is a little awkward because sometimes you have that jet and you have those blades, and then that eco round could really go either way. They don't have anything like that. They do have the showstopper, but that bad boy can really be hit or miss. We're about to see it is going to be hit. The flash goes out. Android to open things up, upgrades the gun from the pistol to the Phantom. As Sinatra trades one back, Poach goes down, so no utility from the Viper. And the most unfortunate, the team has stormed the site, but the spike is down and in the crossfire here. As Sentinels are able to lock this one down. Slow orb gonna go through. Sick picks up one. Looking for some more as he swings around the battle sage. Coming out on top in this round. Boy with the close corners. This is such a bad spot to be. You have to retrieve the spike, and there is a lot of time. But I don't know if it's enough to pick this up. 3v3. Nobody actively peeking. As I say that, though, Sinatra on the backside, able to find one, make it another. That's 3 on the round. That's 4 on the round. Sentinels close it out. It looked like a good eco from AndBox, but Sentinels once more silence this team.
Well, they gave it a good college try. You have to respect it from AndBox. They got off to a good start again. That was a wonderful double satchel into the showstopper. You know, they got off on the right start, the right foot, but unfortunately tripped just as soon as they started, leaving that spike over towards A main. It definitely hurt their chances. So, you know, at the end of the day, you need to go ahead and make sure that you keep the spike with you. So you have lessons that you have learned from that one. AndBox, they once again have a lot more tools in their arsenal to make this one more possible. So, you know, not all hope is lost. It's much easier said than done to account for all of these moving factors. But AndBox, I mean, look, kind of think of them as the dark horse in this tournament for a reason. They have another go at it, Tanner.
They do have another go. Round 5 is where we might see the first one up on the board for AndBox. And I think you brought up a good point, right? That spike going down in a weird spot. Just the round prior, their first rifle round, it was the same thing. It was, I believe, a kill from screens onto somebody with the spike, and it left Seb all by themselves in a 3v1. Had to go retrieve the spike, which wasn't too far, but it's just one more mission you've set on top of, hey, don't forget to 1v3 clutch here. So maybe AndBox take it a bit slower when it comes to hanging onto that spike, making sure that this spike carrier can actually make it on with the team rather than being that last man.
Poach is selling this fake.
Is he, though? There is a lot of action going over towards B, but the rotation actually coming out towards A, and one still on the site here. And Omen going to be holding it down. 6 still up in heaven. They're hearing the footsteps, and they're just going to spray him down. 3 kills to come through. Sick once more with a double kill. The Battle Sage, and Poach, who is trying to buy the attention, unfortunately, needs to buy a lifeline, needs to buy something, buy somebody in. Now a 1v5, 14 seconds. A 5th round to Sentinels.
10 seconds left.
And AndBox, not only their map pick, but they got a win on it yesterday, so they might have been feeling hot coming out of this one, but once more, Sentinels, they go back to their winning ways on this map, and I guess your consolation prize here in round number 5, Poach, is you get to hang on to that Vandal for another round, possibly, unless those paint shells take, okay, 1 second left on the clock. It was spooky, and now AndBox find themselves backs against the wall. It's going to be quite possibly a hero Vandal, maybe a bit of a force around this Vandal. And they almost made an eco round or a thrifty round work a few rounds ago. This rifle could be what it takes to get it done. This time, they have the Neural Theft and the Rolling Thunder. So they can look to do things a bit more smoothly, especially if somebody is still hanging out on that site.
You know, that was just a wonderful read from Sentinels, though, to get back to that round real quickly. Poach originally kind of did sell it. You know, there was 4 players sort of biased towards B at the beginning, but they had a wonderful read. I'm not sure if it was an audio cue or the fact that there's no action, but then they immediately burst over towards A, and they have the crossfires ready. And this time, they're going to be handsomely rewarded for their efforts, as this 4 set from AndBox already doesn't find a kill in their favor. 2 kills in their favor, and Sentinels are just counting it up right now. 6-0 looks more than possible at this point, but nothing is going to be certain until you see that final player fall. And it seems that it might happen soon. Sick finds another.
The Sentinels, they've got something. This is no accusations here, but they have killed the spike carrier in just about every single round first. That spike always finds its way on the ground as they clean up there. It was, in this one, it was Ye with the spike on the breach. He pushes up, he gets taken down. Seb picks it up, then Seb gets opt, and then it finally ends up, I believe, in the hands of Poach. I don't know what's going on. Sentinels, they just have that sixth sense as to where that spike carrier is. Because again, it throws a huge wrench to have to worry about picking that spike up and then relocating, especially when that spike dies right in the open or lands right in the open inside of A main. So I don't think they're doing it on purpose, but it's looking pretty good and it's working for Sentinels. 6 rounds in a row as we bounce back. It's round number 7. It's the 3rd rifle round to come through from AndBox, and they've got a whole lot of work to do. You need to put up a couple here on attack if you are going to look to play this one out and win out defensively.
Well, you can always see a comeback happen. 6-6 would be the best possible case scenario right now, but Sentinels are just playing this in a textbook fashion. They are systematically destroying AndBox right now as the score is looking more and more grim as time goes by. They just cannot come out on top of almost any fight. There's a rare example where it actually does go their way. Boy, who I pointed out as being a solid factor for AndBox, gets one towards themselves, excuse me. Despite not in their grasp once more, because once again, Sentinels have had such a strong read on it. The crossfires come into play, and the round is over without even a chance to take a glimpse at the site itself. Sick is on one right now, 11-1. He's continuing his performance from yesterday and going above and beyond. I'm not saying this is a 13-0. It's way too early to call it that, but this is definitely the scariest possible position to be in if you're a fan of AndBox or if you're AndBox themselves.
This feels like if there's 13 rounds available in this map, there is a playbook. And for round 1, round 2, all the way to round 13, it's all played out. And Sentinels have that playbook. They know exactly what AndBox is doing. And again, they just run right into all the damage. Sinatra picks up a few, make it a 3rd. It's another eco round. It's the spike down, the kills to come through, and Seb able to find one. But it's so oppressive, Ito. I talked about AndBox trying to play it fast, but now Sentinels, they're in their groove. They are feeling it. And it's Sick and Sinatra leading the charge. And at this point, you have to think mid on this map for AndBox. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore. You keep going that way, and you're just going to keep... It's a permanent lockdown. It's a permanent orbital strike. You just can't go that way because Sick and Sinatra are just too good on it.
It's close for business, man. AndBox need to change things immediately. 8-4 now is the best that they can secure, and they have 4, nearly 5 ultimates to do it with. What I'm expecting that we should be seeing here is that take on the ultimate orb and then maybe a double satchel through. No, they're going to do it completely differently. They're going to path over towards heaven, try to take advantage of that, but guess who's waiting there? It's Shazam. He's more than ready in this sort of scenario, and this is those protocols from Sentinels really coming into play. Shazam is not done, though. He's peeking from an entirely new angle. 3 kills, 3 different places. This man is all over the place. This map is his.
When does it stop? When does it stop here? Everybody now coming online. You looked at the score lines, and I mentioned Sick and Sinatra, but the kills from Shazam have been, I think, mostly up kills for the entirety of this game. He hasn't had to buy anything for quite some time as he's sitting on 9,000 credits, completely maxed out. And now AndBox, you still have your defensive half, but this round, it's definitely looking like double digits going the way of Sentinels with Sheriffs, with Stingers, or a Stinger and a Spectre. up in the next and quite possibly the following round, the last, but they have to something going right here, and you need to be wary. That operator is here. Satchel charge on. That is the stinger in the hands of Android. Now going to try and get close quarters here. Finds the dink, but the shots are just landing for Sentinels, and everybody coming online. They were looking for a team ace, but it's Shazam to find 3 and a flawless round for the Sentinels.
It's just a broken execute right there. Now, mind you, that was with mostly pistols. There was a Stinger and I believe a Spectre in the mix, but this is where they have those heavier tools. It's just a complete stomping. Like you said, the prophecy has indeed come true, and we are going to be seeing double digits for Sentinels, but these ultimates have been sat on for so long. Dapper hasn't even had the chance to build up his neural theft because he hasn't had to do anything. His team has been doing all the hard work for them, and Odin will be bought up into this next round. And already the double digits are secured, but Sentinels could easily just pop all their ultimates to maybe find number 11 here. Either way, you're going to be seeing those ultimates pop soon. It's a matter of when. And quite honestly, when is their best chance to use it? It's got to be really, really soon. They just have not been able to get anywhere close to a site. Finally, they have something go their way, Tanner, but it's not too little too late, but man, it feels like it.
It doesn't feel great. It definitely doesn't feel great. It feels like, I would imagine Sentinels have an extra player on their team. What is going on? Is there a 6th man? There's just no breathing room wherever they go. Now they're going to try and push up the Odin right in the face. It's a second kill to come through, but Sinatra evens the odds immediately.
One enemy
Rolling
remaining. Thunder
might not get a whole bunch done here. As I say that, though, Boy and Seb able to go on the flank. Now looking to close it out.
Good.
Once Doms will peek. And it is a round picked up by AndBox. Now, I don't know if that is, hey, we found the way to beat these guys, and you have to do it at the very least once more. The economy might not be too great. I'm expecting, okay, no, should be full armor, should be able to get a buyout for Android. I think Sentinels, they're just having fun with it. Dapper had an Odin that round, holding down B side. So it seems like Sentinels are really, they've just settled in. It is just comfortability right now is where they're finding themselves. And in the rounds previous on that eco, Shazam picked up that 3K, and he even matched the Arsenal a little bit. He got one of those kills with the Classic. So, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that for the Sentinels here. AndBox, you can put up a fight here, and if Sentinels could put up 10 on defense, I would assume they can too. So this is going to be one of the more important rounds as that Boombot gets a bit of help from the Satchel charge. Now the B-side can be stormed through the wall. There we go. The flashes come out. Dapper finds one, but Boy trades it back.
Oh, no.
Not a bad try there, but Sinatra goes huge. The showstopper. Looking to find the 11th round is Sinatra here. 3 kills with 1 on the horizon. It's Android to try and trade it back in a 1v4, but it's Sinatra on the flank. The paint shells one way. The shots from behind. Sentinels are firing on all cylinders.
From Overwatch to Valorant, this man frags hard. He has been unstoppable alongside everybody else on Sentinels, mind you. There has been nothing to shut down these individual efforts from every single one of these players. It's unreal. It's oppressive to play against. Like you said, there was a couple of close calls for AndBox towards the beginning part of this half, but it has been the Sentinel show through and through. That is undeniable. Sure, they had a glimmer of hope in round number 11, but you have to stop talking about glimmers. You have to zoom out a little bit and think about the big picture. And this is that AndBox's map pick is going the other way entirely. There's nothing more to say. Sentinels just have everything on lock. They're going to give it another go. AndBox this time on the defensive end, like you mentioned, Tanner. Playing around this Viper is going to be their best bet. It's something that XSET do incredibly well, so maybe steal something from their playbook. You're going to need something going your way.
Ooh, there it is. That's a good start. Paranoia got a blind Shazam as it came on through. The wall off, but nobody feeling comfortable from Sentinels to push onto this B site. And Boy was actually hanging out with a Classic right in front of him. So worst case scenario, would have been able to drop that Frenzy, pick up the Classic. Now trying to peek it down. Sentinels looking to just run right at the wall here. Stick into the program. As that Sage Wall going to get a bit of denial on an angle. Out from that Omen. Boy not going to find too much. Not going to have that Shrouded Step either. The B site has been conceded, but it's still a 5v4. Make it a 5v3 as the Sentinels all start to fall here on this B site. AndBox trying to close it out. As I say it, though, things get a bit dicey as Zoms finds 3 for himself. It is closed out, but low HP on 2 put AndBox in a very scary position. This is the way that you battle back We're going to see that force up, I would imagine, from everybody across the board. I don't know if you want to save for an op in round 3 on defense from AndBox. I think everybody, there it is. Spectres across the board, and you just mow them down. You know they're going to play aggressive here. You know Sentinels are feeling hot, so they're going to take the gunfights. They might even ego peek you, and we'll see if AndBox has the recipe to stop that here.
It was definitely so scary from AndBox, you know, the fact that it went down to that 2v1, and the frenzy is such a wild card, you never know what to expect. But AndBox had some wonderful positions, great fundamentals right there, traded each other out as perfectly as you can get, and they are, again, handsomely rewarded for their efforts. 1 round going their way, only a dismal 2 that they have at the moment, but it's a start. It doesn't matter how slow you move, but you have to keep moving forward, and that's exactly what ABX are doing right now. Another kill in their favor. Shazam on the flank, and finally, maybe a bit of a read from AndBox. Something has to go their way. Surely they don't get stopped by this flank, and they won't. There's nothing at all that can be done on the flank, and finally, it's something a bit more convincing. It's a very clean second round victory. Sure, they had 2 fatalities, but they shut down all the big problem factors. Shazam, ineffective for the most part. He was traded out. These are the things that AndBox need to continue doing if they want to make this comeback happen. This isn't far gone. This is their map pick after all. You have to expect stuff like this.
You see the bonus round now after this. Not much of a bonus, at least not a bonus for 2. Android and Boy sitting low on credits. So even if they pick this round up, they need to make sure that they are one of the ones staying alive, or at the very least their teammates can drop them in the next. Is a lot of damage coming on through that Viper, getting a whole bunch of utility there.
Big.
With that toxic screen and the snake bites. A little bit of vulnerability. Not going to find the spray down, though. That vulnerability is no joke. A couple of body shots sit you down nice and pretty. Like, you don't even have to worry about popping the grape here. As Ye going to play that off angle up towards heaven in those rafters. And 6 spraying things down, trying to make sure no trap wire was there. A flash going to be expended, and he just backs away. 3 members still hovering over towards this B site. It looks like Sentinels might try and make another hit towards A. Poach holding on towards heaven. And it's just nice and slow. This is Sentinels now taking a deep breath, understanding, hey, we've lost a couple of rounds. This one's pretty important. We don't want to hand over all of this momentum. Shazam with a nice smoke. Sick, gonna pick things off, though, or start things off with a pick onto Android. Now think dicey. This Valorant is a game of rotations, right? You get a kill here, and for whatever reason, you just run over there, and that's exactly looking like the game plan. This fight could be dropped, though, down onto ramps.
Huge.
Sprays down 2, holding down heaven, and Seb is there to back him up. It's all up to Sick. Needs to frag out here for his team should they want to push to match point, but it's looking like AndBox to find a 4th and to continue battling back. 1 kill comes through, but it's Poach to sit him down in the damage, Ito. Only 2 members going down. It was the 2 that needed to not die because their economy is poor, but their teammates should be able to buy them, should be able to drop them, and AndBox, they're starting to ramp up.
And they've done it. They've actually pulled off, not an upset, but like a round that was going to be probably one of their toughest. They just jumped, leaped over a major hurdle of winning that bonus round versus the Rifles of Sentinels. And I want to point out, their setups were beautiful. What you pointed out, it was Ye kind of playing that off angle by rafters. What he was doing was actually playing for a flash. That way, as soon as he made contact, he would flash, and Android would be able to retake control safely. And that's not what they're doing this round, but it's something that I think they're going to be utilizing a lot down the line. Yay, speaking of which, we'll be doing the exact same thing. Flash, back up to a safer location. These are, again, great basics from AndBox, and they're going to be rewarded if they keep this sort of thing up. They're on the right track, Tanner.
A couple of weird off angles. This is one that we've seen spike in popularity with this new split, as Ye gonna get so much value of his own. Pushing up through, he's gonna give up his position and find a couple of kills, pushing up towards B heaven. Now, Shazam, sure as the information was given, but they already knew he was there from the kill, and Seb to sit him down. It's all up to 1. The running spray down gets it done. Dapper, unfortunately, probably not too happy about that one, and Seb left on 6 HP. AndBox battle back. They have not dropped a round just yet, but they need to keep going. 6 more in a row to tie things up. 7 to put them on match point, and they're still playing for the win. This is the best time to mount your comeback because you're not just playing for, okay, let's extend the game. At this point, you are playing to win the game. You still have that breathing room of 1 round from map point. Now we take a look at the ultimates available. A resurrection still up for 6 should he not die early in this round. Shazam has those blades and that from the shadows for a bit of information. Yeah, and there it is. Poach gonna lock down that A site all by himself. And we'll see how much value this gets. I know that ultimate sometimes falls a bit flat, so we'll have to pay attention. For now, it looks like everybody deterred away from that one.
This is a great move by Sentinels, though. I think they're going to try perhaps a pincer through ropes. They've had a lot of success with it for the most part, and they know that Poach is no longer holding towards heaven. Never mind, AndBox are done. They don't want to have to deal with any crazy sit-ups down the line. They're looking to take fights right now, and they're winning them. Boy comes in from behind to remove Sick from the round, but that's all the ultimate users out of the picture entirely from Sentinels. You have little bits of utility on the remaining members of Sentinels, but for the most part, it's going to have to be a beautiful 2 versus 4. That's how it starts. One opening kill, beautiful trades out, and AndBox win it. 6 rounds in their favor. Sentinels, they're not struggling. They're so close to being able to choke out and finish up this map. But AndBox are slowly but surely fighting back. Now 5 in a row. So many ultimates about to come online as well, Tanner. I want to point your attention to that. 6 out of 7 for 3 of these, I believe it's Android. Yeah, Android, Yay, and Boy, excuse me. You want to see a fight for an ultimate orb here. I think that's going to be massive.
That last round, maybe with that Viper ult, would have been the Viper's Pit would have been a good place to start.
Get out of my way.
Not going to have that this time, so a bit harder to push up, especially when your Viper wall doesn't get as much value as that Sage wall, where you could wall that off and then just go for that orb. So nobody fighting for it just yet, as Shazam going to pop the Blade Storm. And it's another eco round. I believe it was Stingers across the board for Sentinels. Those blades obviously mean a bit more. And the Sage is across the map here. So Sick playing right next to Sinatra. The res has been held onto for 2 rounds. This will be the 3rd if we don't see that one go off here. And Sick just put in a bad spot. Okay, there's another bad spot. Sinatra gonna go down. Now this is probably your best bet for that res to come through, because Boy has to reposition, doesn't want to give up too much info. But then you have to be wary, right? I don't know if that Sage has actually picked up the barrier orb, so does Sick want to trade that out just for a res here on the eco round? It might be another round where Sentinels go down and they don't look to battle too hard back into this one. A lot of it weighing heavily on the shoulders of Shazam to get it done, because those Stingers, unfortunately, at range, it's real RNG. It's really real fishy if it does pay off. But an ult onto the back of the side. Now things are getting a bit dicey. Boy put in a bad spot as the smokes come through. There's the wall going up, and Zom's not spotted out in the back. We'll find that kill. Dapper coming up through mid, able to find the flank, and the neural theft. The ultimates that were available are starting to pay off, and there is the resurrection. Sick goes back to pick up his fallen member. They should be able to pick up a couple guns on this site, as well as Android tries to hold it down. Rolling Thunder comes through. He's got the ultimate available, but Sinatra sits him down with the paint shells. Grenade greater than rocket launcher here in this game. But you're right, they're running out of time.
Stay out of my
Wow, a very fast round, but it did not start until under that 30-second mark. And AndBox somehow, some way pull it out.
They lose to the clock, not the players. AndBox somehow clutch it, if you would, in a 1v3, but all he has to do is not die. That is such an insane round. Sentinels, they even played that so well too. One thing I want to point out that maybe kind of flew by everyone's radar, because it was only seen on the radar, is the fact that there's a smoke tossed out from Zoms that blocked off Heaven, and that usually gives the impression that there's going to be someone late lurking or trying to prod Heaven. But no, Dapper was playing all the way back to catch off both Poach as well as the other rotator. The name escapes me right now, but it was so greatly played by Sentinels, but they just burned off too much time. They ended up looking like old T1, and unfortunately, that's going to be another round that they concede. And, well, it's anything but unfortunate, I suppose, if you're a fan of AndBox, and how can you not be with how they're playing right now? Sentinels, in this round, however, have completely changed up the pace. Just when I was talking about how amazing their last round was, they've completely switched everything up, flipped the script, and now they're playing a completely different sort of game. Spike planted, and a whole nother round for AndBox to deal with.
All 10 members still alive here on Split. Sinatra low on HP, so maybe not long for this world, as Sick was forced to use that barrier orb to get away from the snake bite. Now we'll see if he can get much more. Nope, it's going to be the Cyphers to trade a couple of kills back and forth. Seb on low HP will eventually fall. Now Sinatra hanging on, has that rocket fuse ticking down, needs to use that ultimate if he's going to. 32 HP, going to fire that one out. Not going to get too much. And despite spike just ticking down. It looks like AndBox are okay to let this one go by the wayside.
One enemy remaining.
That's gonna be match point here. That is a very
Wow.
interesting round. Everybody goes down except for Dapper
Match
and
point.
AndBox. They're just A-okay conceding that A site. And the last 2 rounds, this game gets closed out. If you have 10 more seconds for Sentinels, right? Once they get everybody on that site, it is easy beans for those guys to close out the round. That's exactly what we saw. So if we went back a round ago and you start pushing a little bit before that 30-second mark, maybe 45 seconds on the clock, this game could be over. So now AndBox, I feel like, are in trouble. It looks like Sentinels has found the answer.
Answer so far. There's still plenty of time for counterplay. AndBox, they're going to be the ones trying to dictate the pace early. So since they've sent 2 people over towards B main and they haven't found anything for their trouble, you're probably going to see on that radar a bunch of rotations coming through. And there you have it. Boy, he is just going to be following his teammate, his comrade in arms, to try to bring it out over towards A and possibly B heaven. This is a ton of information gained by AndBox, but it's undeniable to argue the fact that Sentinels have a wonderful position to play with right now, because they also have a strong amount of map control, and they're just a double satchel away from being able to probably force AndBox to concede the site or fight for their life.
Poison's off.
It's all quiet for now.
A different approach as Boy gonna find the first. That's a great start here for AndBox. And again, it's not Sentinels storming onto the site. They're playing this one slower, and AndBox has a pretty good read on it, and they're holding steadfast. They're not worried about what's
30
over towards
seconds
B
left.
because they've got one pushed so far up towards B main for the entirety of the round. Now the remaining 4 are looking to get up. One gonna get tagged out there. Sinatra gonna find a kill and trade. Poach is out on heaven though. They try to get onto the site, but they're just mowed down. AndBox come up huge there, and it's all off that first kill towards mid. The clock once more running down, and Sentinels were forced to make a play.
Time is of the essence, and God, it feels like right now they're just tampering with a resource or fooling around with it. Sentinels, again, they burst onto the site at the last possible moment, but they have kept a strong amount of utility in their favor. Poach was just able to hold the line. Satchels were used from Sinatra by Heaven to try to provide some sort of pincer, but they were not ready for that man Raptor as Poach. He has been doing some wonderful work. Not top fragging, sure, but he has definitely gotten a number of impact frags. He's been doing his part perfectly. Sentinels, they're definitely struggling to close this one out, but it's like I said before, they are just 1 round away from being able to completely snatch us away, bring us onto map 2 with a map in their favor. Sentinels, once again, look to move quickly, but an awkward exchange in the smoke. They're going to be kissing through it, and unfortunately, Seb will get the killing blow. Of course, Poach tries to appear from the rafters, but you have to think at the same time, Sentinels right now, they're struggling. You can see the panic in their faces and the way they move their mouths. This could go either way still, Tanner.
It's looking to go the way of B site as they storm onto A. Things kind of go a little sour. Now they're looking to rotate back towards Heaven, out into vents, and back towards B. If anybody could do it, it is Sick and Dapper in a 2v3 to try and close things out. And AndBox looking to do their due diligence to slowly creep back through this spawn. Gonna clear out all the angles, and they surely will hear this spike go down. Now, importantly, Sick only having the heal available. Ooh, Dapper with the first pick and to stop things. Coming up from the spawn, now backs away into Heaven, and you have to be wary about where this Cypher is playing, especially when he's looking to get that aggressive. It's looking to be the back of the site, though. A lot of utility here for Android as they stack up into the back. Android and Boy coming on through. This is the life on the line here for game 1. It's planted out for B main. You have to assume they're playing out that way. He's going to push to the smoke. The spray down comes through. Dapper finds one. Now needs to find another. He's healing up. Boy going to push on through. Finds the first kill. Needs to keep the tournament life alive. He's not going to do it here. It's game 1 to Sentinels. 13-8 on split. And it's Dapper to close things out.
The 2v3 switch things up at the last moment, but yeah, no, it seems like a very one-track minded sort of push. Oh yeah, look at that. They are switching things up. Spike, it's dawdling its way over towards a little bit of an A bias, but we can only be so excited by seeing the radar, watching it. And I think we have a little bit of a tech pause, so you're actually going to be seeing our faces for a little bit longer. So congrats. But to kind of talk about these compositions now that we actually have what we're working with, Sageless comps, I kind of want to touch on that real quick because in the earlier days of an already pretty new map, Icebox, you saw a lot of Sage, like you mentioned. She is almost picked every single time when you see her in ranked. She does offer a lot up, and you usually see her over by Kitchen when she's on the defensive end. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more focus and a lot more emphasis from whoever's attacking towards Kitchen now that you're no longer going to see that crazy Sentinel used in that area. So keep your eye open for that.
How do you feel about, does the Viper kind of do the same thing for you, right? Especially so Poach starting on defense, you kind of wall off that area towards mid so the attackers can't even see tube or underneath tube, whatever it may be. It kind of makes pushing out that way a bit scary because you don't know what's on the other side. Is that enough, or do you think the Sage does just feel like the kind of end-all be-all when it comes to stopping that tube push?
It's not necessary, you know, not the quintessential best, but I feel like it's maybe the easiest to execute. Energy in the past have run it, FaZe have run it in the past. There are some clever boosts that you can do with the wall as well that I always like to bring up, where you angle it so it's slightly outward, your jet can jump on top of it. You can get as exploratory as you want with it, but this is the comp that they're comfortable with, and they don't run Sage, again, looking at my stats here. So if they can make this double controller work with the Viper and Omen, I think, you know, they'll definitely have Kitchen on lock in their own way, but it's going to be unique, and this is something, again, that I want to mention that Sentinels have been up against Space Station Gaming in the past. So they have experience with this sort of matchup. Also, now's the time to, you know, try things out. You are playing for seeding when it all comes down to it, and you can have a little bit of fun with it. You can explore a lot of things, and that's what I think is going to be vital. You're going to be seeing a lot more theory crafting, maybe lie. You know, you're going to be the witness to it. Anything can happen, and again, that's what I love about Valorant.
I really appreciate you bringing that up while we are in this tactical pause and the players are getting things figured out. So if you guys aren't familiar, the top 8 teams from the open qualifiers here, which we're in the quarterfinals, all 8 teams here have qualified for the first closed qualifiers. There's going to be 3 opens, 3 closes, then leading into Masters. Now, these 8 teams, you're probably thinking, why are they doing it now? And it is just like Ito said, playing for seeding. So we're not going to see the same quarterfinal matchups unless some way, somehow the seeding just plays out like that and we get it all the same. I would assume that's not going to be the case. And those close qualifiers at their $50,000 prize pool where all of these teams have in the money playing for either that $1,000 8th place prize or that $25,000 first place prize once we get there to the close qualifiers. Now it is going to be that quick B hit with on the but he comes through the spawn. Bot
Spike planted.
Gonna have that in the paint shells. Get actually quite a bit of utility there. AndBox.
Wow.
Striking is huge here. 2 quick kills to come on through, but the spike has since been planted. Ye doing his due diligence here to make sure that no nano swarms on the spike, and somehow missed shot. Dapper comes out on top, has a bit of decay. We'll be able to heal that one back up, and through the smoke, Dapper just having fun with it. 6 to close it out, and it was looking good for AndBox until it wasn't.
It was looking so good for them too. They had successfully kind of corralled Sentinels into that lower part of the site. Not lower part, but the back part of that site. Kind of back into their own spawn, if you would. It was a really rough go for them, and yet they still just won every single individual fight that they needed to. It was Sick, who I believe tossed out a dart at the perfect time as well, who caught that player kind of ducking in and out of the dart cover. That was messy from AndBox, undeniably, but you can't do anything but respect the gall for Sentinels to somehow fight and brawl their way out of it. And like I always like to say, they're going to be rewarded for it. Second round should be going their way because they do have a heavy artillery advantage. AndBox, however, have completely stacked over towards A. And why this is so big is because Sentinels are starting to sniff this out. They've walked up towards B, cut noise even though they didn't necessarily even need to, and they're getting a really good read on just how free this is, so it'll be a nice free spike plant for them, free of charge.
And Ito, it's the classic eco stack. Let's stack one site, play tight corners, and hope they come this way. And, you know, as is tradition, they don't go that way. They go to the opposite site. Now we get to see kind of a silly retake here as all 5 are stacked up, just pushing on through, and Zoms might just have a heyday here with the Bulldog in hand. Only goes good for 1. Does get a little scary now as that's going to be a rifle in the hands of AndBox as they look to push up. Shazam holding this one. Sick on a tight angle as well. Ghost goes good for 1, maybe looking for a second. He hears the reload. He's going to push him on in, find another. They're just closing it out here. Sentinels, it was looking to go their way the whole time, but AndBox once more put up a fight. Unfortunately, only picking up 1 kill in that one. So hurting the economy of 1. But we'll see what the answer back is here. And now we're in round 3, and for some reason, we're seeing some light armors on the side of AndBox. So yay, not necessarily in the best spot getting that full buy.
I think they're banking on the fact that they might be bonusing. That's my only guess. Well, it's only 1 light armor. It's a sacrifice that you have to make, you know? Yay, he just kind of has to take a gamble that, hey, I'm going to be able to win my fight convincingly enough where that extra 25 points of armor isn't going to make a completely round-changing difference. And it looks like a gamble that actually seems to have worked out for them. They do find the opening kill, that is. Yay. There's a bit of a response from Sentinels. This is such a weird push, too, because really, they're given the entirety of the B bomb site, and all it took was a single Hunter's Fury to completely zone out the AndBox defenders. That is such a crazy round. You have to go back and look at that time and time again to really dissect it.
That makes me want to go into a custom match with somebody and see how suppressed footsteps are when the Hunter's Fury is just ripping at you, because it was Dapper whose his footsteps were completely suppressed and was able to flank all the way up onto Poach, who was being targeted by that Hunter's Fury. Such a huge play. Dapper does end up going down after finding a 3K. Unfortunately, Boy on 10 HP with the spike planted. Walk away from this one. I would imagine he gets hunted. Shazam is headed that way, and we could quite possibly see a nice little classic kill to come on through. No, it's going to be a ghost. And there's the picture-in-picture. The smoke goes through. Unfortunately, that dark cover not going to do you too much good, Boy. At the end of the day, Sentinels now up 3-0. AndBox will find themselves once more on an eco. And this is looking pretty reminiscent of map number 1, Ito.
Getting a bit of deja vu, that's for sure. Sentinels seemingly having everything going their way. Good reads, and of course, a great idea for them to chase after that gun. They kind of squared on a location that Boy could be. So, I mean, hey, just collect the gun, and AndBox now have effectively 0 tools to work with. They will bring sheriffs to the table, as well as a couple of bits of armor, ghost here and there. But once again, they're going to try gambling a site. What I think they need to do, now that we have maybe a bit of leisure time, Sentinels should be able to clean this one up, is I think they need to have a lot more of an emphasis over towards B. Because that's twice now that they've completely conceded it, whether it was just by a single pair of footsteps or a single Hunter's Fury. I think Poach has the right idea. He's pushing up close, but Sentinels are not even going to give him the time of day, as they will look to go over towards A this time, Tanner.
And nothing really to stop that lockdown from coming through, so everybody gonna be forced away. Sev just looking to eat it there, the eco round. 1 detained comes through. I believe they were able to walk away as Shazam finds Poach on the flank. Boy, able to pick one up on the way out, so forced up a ghost here and is just trying to do some damage to the economy and is doing just that. Can he find himself a weapon? Paranoia in hand, able to use that shrouded step into the dark cover. Does still have the flash available, finds another kill in AndBox. They're looking to do something spicy here. Is Android from downtown, the ultimate to come through, the showstopper. Looking to lock it down here. There's no way in for Sick. He's not going to toss it out. He's going to get shot down. He comes off the spike, but yay! Pops the grape of Sick in AndBox. A thrifty victory against all odds.
A good craftsman never blames his tools, and AndBox right there are the pinnacle example of that. With nothing more than a couple of pistols, they have made magic. A beautiful project that comes together and allows them to pick up that first round. At such a pivotal moment, mind you, as well, Tanner. The money isn't broken by Sentinels, don't get me wrong, but it definitely is going to be hurting a lot more. They win this, they suddenly have control of the eco. This is now another huge round that AndBox need to win. What have they learned from the early game? More pressure is being applied over towards B. Poach has set down his wall. These are exactly, these are the adaptations that AndBox need to make, and they're doing them. already a bit fruitful as they've picked up Dapper to start things out. And actually, Android on the other side of the map, I think, found another. There's a strike back from Sentinels, but it has been relatively muted. They still stay a player down, Sentinels, AndBox in the lead.
Got one.
Seb catches Sinatra, look in the opposite direction, and in a 3v2, AndBox look to pick up another round. Now, a lot of utility out of the way as that Killjoy is dead, and Shazam gonna take the aggressive peeks out towards the spawn.
What an
He's gonna
angle.
get taken down. Op v op, and he didn't even expect it. It's all up to Zom, so has to try and clutch it out. Picks up 1 of 3. Needs to find another couple as that Boombot not gonna get the value that they were hoping for.
He has paranoia.
He's come through, does have full utility, is able to pick up another Zoms, looking for a 4K Shroud. Is
Oh, no!
away. No, he glitches out, but he still gets it. Zoms, against all odds in the game, kind of being wonky. Absolutely huge there. The omens in this game, Ito, going nuclear.
The leader of his own nation now pops off as well. Zoms. It's not often that you're going to see Teleport Bug actually work out, but for some reason, they fell hook, line, and sinker to it. A massive 1 versus 3 snatches away the round that AndBox should have had. And like I said, that was so massive, and the fact that they don't win it means that they're going to be hurting. They are on this poverty buy right now. Things are undeniably terrible, but AndBox have made this work before with a little bit less. Who's to say that they can't repeat history?
Toxin screen down.
We're 5-6 rounds in as Sinatra picked up that first kill, and things are already getting spicy. I'm all starting to sweat, and it took 30 rounds, or 20 rounds, excuse me, in the last to get me there. Now Sinatra,
oh, what a shot.
Will fall the Guardian. Gonna pop the grape there. Boy coming out on top once more. Using these awkward weapons. It was a Ghost for a 3K, and a Guardian goes good for 1. And that has since stopped this push. It's actually a Guardian in the hands of Android 2, so this AndBox team coming up huge here with these rifles. Kind of on an awkward buy, but they're making it work so far. In the 4v4, they have a few ultimates available. A beautiful shock dart. You just have to tip your hat sick here. When you get those kills, absolutely huge for your team. Now, Seth, probably just going to get run down. No, he's going to do the running down. Sick will fall. No more utility kills for you. As the spike looks to get planted, the clock ticking down, the paint shells to deter for a moment longer, but they still have 20 seconds to work with. AndBox down to their last 2. Operator in the hands of 1, not going to find no shots. There's a shot from Shazam. A beautiful headshot at that. Zoms plants the spike, gets the kill. And Sentinels find another. AndBox, their one victory here, it had taken a Herculean effort. It took the whole squad to come up clutch, and they just have not been able to reciprocate.
Sentinels are just playing it so well, though, man. They were incredibly patient for there. They ran down the clock, but left more than ample time for them to get the spike down and account for the factor that Android, might have his paint shells available. So even though Android tossed him out, and that would have been great if the timer was just down a little bit more. They accounted for that. Sentinels, they move forward now onto 5 rounds. And look at this next new approach from AndBox. They're starting to push mid. 2 players down with a dark cover right in front of them. It's a new setting, and with the Viper's Pit now to maybe adorn mid and a bit more of their style, Sentinels need to adjust. The fact that they're so close over towards A, though, makes this a reek of a burst potential.
Shadows traveling.
But it's scary when you know Sick does have that Hunter's Fury available. And what's even scarier, Sinatra finding a kill onto your Raze. AndBox down a member here, so things aren't necessarily swinging their way. And the Viper all out towards mid doesn't get a whole lot of value. I'm not too sure how much Sentinels were banking on being able to play up towards Tube, as Sinatra can't be stopped as I say it, though. Seb gonna sit him down.
Wall.
Now the spike planted. Everybody from Sentinels playing off of this one. It's been pinged out. The nanoswarms have been used. Full utility just about here for Zoms. Zam from downtown is able to find that kill through the wall here. The Viper screen working against them. And AndBox fall once more. What does the economy look like? Because it has to be getting dire here, round number 8.
Absolutely dire. But again, you know, this is why you never count any round out. AndBox, they have won on an eco before. They've won on a thrifty before, rather. It doesn't feel all too impossible to maybe see it again, but Sentinels have undeniably had control over every single aspect of this game from start to finish. Beautiful calls, beautiful mid-rounds, and they just look indomitable right now. They have had to use absolutely nothing except when they absolutely need to. That utility has been used so sparingly, it's only the essentials, but Sentinels maybe have been punished for not using it liberally enough. They've actually lost a couple of fights. The action happens so quickly, we can only watch one POV there. What the hell has happened? Have AndBox actually done it again? Beneath our noses.
Yeah. I mean, it's the pistol squad, the thrifty squad, AndBox. It's battling back. This is that David and Goliath-esque story. Unfortunately, the first one didn't go their way, but you pick up a couple more here early in this game, then you're not in that same spot. Now, Sick on the back foot. It's been a while since we've seen him here. He does have shock darts available. He does have the Hunter Shuri, and unfortunately, he does get spotted out. This is a bad spot.
Bad spot, but maybe he can fake it out by walking. Because he might think, oh, did he back up? Could he be possibly CT at this point? You see that Poach now has to kind of check he's behind as a result. AndBox just need to stay patient here.
30 seconds left.
There's no good reason to give up a second 1 versus 3. Well, the players are particularly hurting, and the one who is in more than a safe position. Oh, wait, look at that. The turret has actually been taken down because he moved far enough away. That is huge. Now, Sick has potential to get an ult off here. He's going to be using his guard out, planting as safe as he possibly can. Snowman will be his boon as he quickly backs off over towards the defender spawn. It's now an open book, and he needs to write the story.
And he's got the utility for it. He could play so far up, especially if for whatever reason he has the lineups. Does look like he wants to take the fight right to him, though. He knows that the arsenal not necessarily in their favor. And they're searching high and low. Not going to spot him just yet. Seth finally does, and Sick, unfortunately, can't do the unthinkable there. It was looking spicy, and imagine the momentum that would have brought towards Sentinels. If they don't already have it through the roof, you pick up a 1v3 in a situation like that. Would have been absolutely huge. Instead, though, it's AndBox. You look at the kills, you look at the scoreboard, you wouldn't necessarily assume that they're in the driver's seat, and they're not. But as I said previously, you just need to do more than you did in the last, especially if you are going to come out strong on the attacking side. If you don't go down 11-1, I mean, you're already in a better position than game one. If you don't go down 11-1, you have so much more to work with. I know that's the obvious, but that is the position that AndBox are in now.
Well, AndBox are not out of the clear. They're not in the clear yet, rather. Because 5 ultimates adorn the side of Sentinels, and I don't think they're going to be incredibly conservative with them. They have no reason to hold on to every single one of these, especially since we are in now the latter part of this half. Blow a couple, double satchel in, do something crazy. Whatever it takes to get that next round on the board and once again, ruin AndBox. The only rounds AndBox have won, mind you, are ecos. They don't have the best track record for gun rounds. Maybe you can go ahead and keep it that way. Boy, he watches from a unique angle here. There's the Killjoy lockdown being used, and here begins the fall, Tanner.
Shadows traveling.
It's looking to be that way. Counter, lockdown to come on through, but there's the Hunter's Fury.
That's big.
That is the absolute best thing about having not only Sick on your team, but that Hunter's Fury available. Seb somehow gets a third kill. Is going to be traded back. Sinatra goes aggressive, but will fall. But from downtown Shazam, still holding things down with that operator, and now a 2v2. The spike is dropped on the site. So for now, AndBox are in the driver's seat. They are in control. They're going to do even more. They're going to take a man advantage and close it out. A third round to AndBox, and 6-6 at the half isn't looking too undoable, Ito.
It's looking a lot less scary, a lot less insurmountable, and they've already made their way halfway there. 6-6, like you said, definitely not impossible, but it's not just done yet. Sentinels, they still have a couple of more ultimates to work with. They're going to be choosing to force up into this next round. I was waiting to see this buy because Shazam does have that Blade Storm available, and that does pack a huge punch. Sentinels, I think right now what they're going to be looking for here is a massive change of pace. Try to quicken things up a little bit. You've had a wonderful success rate with it so far. Use that Blade Storm to your advantage and just go ahead and immediately close the distance. But Ye is ready for it. First shot through, back up, get out of dodge, and live to fight another day. AndBox are on the right start. close things out. They completely slow things down. Look at this. Keep your eye on the radar. They are trying to sell this fake a little bit more if they can. They're not committed to the idea. And AndBox are a little bit confused. Their rotations are a little bit out of whack as a result, so they need to push for information. But as a result of doing this, they might give up their lives. Android is in such a scary position, and he can't really afford to go an inch further. So scary. And that's exactly why you're just a knife away dying. And AndBox suddenly have had things evened up on them.
Blocking sight.
And right back to playing it slow. Sentinels, they're doing their due diligence. After dropping a couple of rounds, they go back to slowing things down, trying to get a bit better of a read. The overwhelming playstyle hadn't worked in the last two, so they go back to the playbook. It is a 4v4, but those knives still very scary. No longer rotating towards mid, though. Is going to link up with the team over towards A as the recon bolt goes through. Poach might have a nice angle. Not going to have the shots on target, though. I don't even know if he had time to react. Sick goes huge there, picking up that kill. As Sentinels look to go back to their winning ways. The spike planted. Now working against the clock is AndBox, but on the flank goes Seb. He finds one. Shazam, though. He sneaks away and finds the kill. And you just cannot count this team out. Sentinels continue to impress. Now Ye trying to answer back with blades of his own in a 3v2. The smokes go through. Now a 2v2. Shazam and Ye are going to go toe-to-toe. It's the Jets. It's Ye on top. And boy, to close it out. It looked good for Sentinels, but AndBox steal it away.
That is what we've been really hoping to see out of AndBox for so long now. That discipline and the mentality to get through when things are so rough. Beautiful play by Ye in particular. Boy, he wasn't even there for moral support. He provided so much good utility. That dark cover forced Shazam out of position to take a very disadvantageous fight, and that was more than enough for AndBox to leap upon the opportunity and get closer and closer to 6 rounds. Another full buy-in play. Sentinels, with all due respect, made that one incredibly close considering some of the tools that they had to work with, but they need to do even better. It's that motto that you've been trying to show and maybe give to me, Tanner. I like it, and I'm going to try to steal it for myself. You have to do better for this round, but it's not off to the best start. Ye once again finds the opener. This time it's going to be on to Dapper, so they don't have any of those nano swarms available, but at least they have the showstopper. That double satchel play isn't going to be really all too unreasonable to expect from Sinatra.
This is a very similar start to that last round as well. They toss out that dart, it gets shot down, and last time they rotated away. So maybe trying to bait an early rotation, which may have just done that. It drew a bit of attention over towards mid or A. There's the late rotate. No, it actually is just going to be to pick up the orb and coming right back. So Sentinels holding fast here, trying to take this B site. Smokes go out. Shazam gonna block things out. From the shadows goes through. Gonna get a lot of value. Gets so much info, but it doesn't matter. Seb to find Zombs. There's the satchel. Then you talked about the showstopper. And Sinatra is here, and he's not gonna play. 2 kills to the Rays. Shazam to get the spike down. Make it a third, and Sinatra, the man of the hour here, trying to get the better half of this half. He finally will fall, and it's all up to Shazam in a 1v2. Low HP, and Poach is sitting on the Viper's pit. Shazam has the clock in his favor, can work with the spike, and we'll see what is going to be assumed. The tap onto the spike, the straight out comes through, and Shazam to close it out. Sentinels grab 7 rounds.
You guys suck.
A master in his game. Whether it's CS, whether it's Valorant, he just always pops off. 12-5 right now. And what an amazing time to come alive. Sentinels, through the thick and the thin, they are pulling these rounds together. It looked so one-sided at the start. AndBox, of course he let that one falter, as you see reflected in the scoreboard score line. But 5-7 still possible. I'm just not sure if Sentinels are even going to give them the time of day. They have been looking so prime. It's just unreasonable. Once again, they go... Oh, actually, no. I think you're about to say the same thing I was, man.
No, I wasn't. I was just going to harp on that. Insult to injury, the Jet voice line at the end was, wow, you guys suck. And that just feels so bad. I would imagine that's going to be an EP video somewhere.
Live Valorant fails. This is going to be anything but a fail, as they have just completely taken the site with zero reply from AndBox. Again, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu, because this is something that we are no stranger to seeing. They finally get that spike down about the minute mark, and that will prompt AndBox to start pushing in, because it is a 5v5, and the first person who finds that frag gets it in their favor. That, of course, is going to be Boyd. But that dart comes online, and all the kills might come online as well! Sinatra, out of nowhere, finds 4! And you cannot expect the wildcard factor like that.
Switching
Every
sides.
single round, he seemingly pops off as well. Before, it was Shazam to close it out. Now, it's going to be Sinatra.
Sinatra with a buff at the end of the half there, looking so strong to help his team close it out. Obviously, Shazam with the clutch in that round previous, but a 4K to kind of crush the dreams of getting a 7-5 half from AndBox. It's better than map 1, Ito. These replays, man, the multi-kills that we've seen from both teams. Boy coming up huge. Shazam and Sinatra obviously going huge. Seb even having some good angles on it on top of it all. And a turret kill. I don't know if we're going to get that in the replay, but that feels pretty good.
Yeah, that was... I'm not 100% sure. To have to go back and watch the tape of it, but I think that was actually because his own teammate, Hunter's Feared him, and he was down to low enough HP, and he just kind of, well, died to machinery. But what a wonderful half that was. It really could have gone either way, but consider this. AndBox started that one down so much, and a bunch of heartbreaking rounds too, that they couldn't close out, and yet they still made this convincing. This was the map pick of Sentinels, mind you, but it's looking a lot more competitive than Split, I think, at times ever was. This map has surely been delivering. This game has surely been delivering. And God, I honestly think anything can happen at this point. I do believe we have a bit of a technical pause, though, so you do have a chance to glimpse at our faces while we talk about what we just saw right there. And Tanner, I want to hear your initial thoughts, because I've been rambling for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Sentinels looking incredibly strong. I would say if, you know, any inclination, if game one was any inclination as to what kind of team AndBox is, it's a team that's going to fight. And it's a team that is coming here to take down one of the Titans, if not the Titan, the team to beat, that are at the very least left in the top 8 here. And it's very doable. They put up a solid comeback. I believe it was 6 rounds. 5 rounds in a row, then maybe another one. So 6 rounds total on the defensive side, being down 11-1. And that is a lot of pressure. Maybe for the pros, it's a little different, right? Maybe in my solo queue games when I'm at 11-1, it feels weird. But when you're in this situation, do you shake off the 11-1, or are you kind of crumbling under the pressure? And they didn't. Now they're in a better place. They're starting off in a better spot on the king side here. 4 rounds to 8, it's not the end of the world. This is, you can still come back from this. A lot of it relies, I was going to say, on the first shots here from Shazam, and he's forced to back away. So I think AndBox already got themselves a nice little one-up here in this pistol round.
For now, and AndBox continue to try to innovate. The Viper Wall brought into play is going to be good to find Shazam on the entry, and that will now let them embark onto the A site without many further issues. There is one kill from Zombs with a Frenzy, but he's quickly dispatched up without any further issues. Sentinels down 4v2, need to pull off a miracle of a post plant, but they don't have a lot of utility to work with. They have the time, but do they exactly have the space?
Paint shells are available here for AndBox. Dapper looking to get aggressive. Okay, paint shells no longer available. Xandroid goes down, and now you don't really have to worry about it. Oh, there's the Nano Swarm to try and stop things for now. 6 falls, only 35 HP was the Sova. Now 18 on a Dapper, and he's running out of time. He's just got to send it some way, somehow in a 1v3. He's got to get 3 kills and find a defuse, but the clock is ticking down, and he's just going to try to find a way to pad the stats on the way out. Nope, he will die. Boy will go down, and thankfully 5 patches ago or whatever it was, that no longer counts towards your death count, so your KDA not going to be hurt by that one. But maybe the morale a little bit. As AndBox, they pick up that pistol round. We've seen what they can do with that. They can usually string a few together. Now full SMGs across the board. Yay, hanging on to that Ghost. I'm thinking maybe saving for an op on the attacking side. We saw what Shazam could do with it. Just about every single kill, I think, coming from the operator on attack, I think Ye is looking to put up the same numbers.
Well, every round, but there is a notable exception where they got that crazy 1v2 spray down, lest you forget that.
True.
But there's a variety of highlights that Sentinels have gotten this series. I don't blame you for maybe misremembering one here or there, but this will be another chance for AndBox as we go ahead and shift our focus to this round. We're not going to be seeing those operators in play, much less are we going to be seeing rifles. It's going to be pistols versus SMGs all the way, and AndBox, they don't necessarily want to start... What just happened there with Zombs? How did he find that kill into Ye? That's actually insane. That opens things up a lot more, I think. Sentinels, they can start pushing in a little bit more if they want to. They need to fight for space. Oh, but they aren't. They're going to concede it instead. AndBox should have the site free of charge.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, that makes it a bit more free as everybody holding down the site just gets mowed down, even from a distance with those Spectres. Sinatra is a player on this team that you can't count out, so I would think that at the very least with the paint shells and that classic, he might just be good for one, and he's just gonna send it. He's gonna look for something flashy. Dude. There it is, the bunny hop right click. Oh man, it's the whole package with Sinatra. Even in a 1v4, he still comes through.
Dude, Android's hairline has to be receding because of that one. I'd be mauled if I died to that, man. Yeah, Sinatra, can you ever just die normally? Do you always have to go out on this crazy flash of valor? Sure, that's what AndBox are thinking right now, but if you're a Sentinels fan, you love to see it. Even in losses, they look beautiful. They're falling with style, if you would. But now, they might not be falling at all. Take a look at this buy right here, Tanner. It looks wonderful for the side of Sentinels. And it's because of that rifle factor. AndBox in the past did manage to win a bonus round, and it was actually on Split, which was a relatively one-sided game. Considering this upward momentum, this upward trajectory that they're on, I don't think it's all too unreasonable to expect it to happen again, and that's the start that you need if you want to make it happen. Stick is down, no darts in play, and now there's going to be no nanostorms in play because Dapper has gone down as well.
Engineer killed.
Sinatra still alive though, and still has that pop-off factor for the Sentinel squad, and in a 2v4, definitely feels like Sentinels have an extra man. Able to find a tag onto Boy, who's able to creep away for now, and they could just play the spike, so not a bad place to be. You don't have to re-peek that, especially when Sinatra's feeling as hot as he is. Trying to pick all the gunfights in the world, and that Viper Wall doing a pretty good job of clearing things out. Full utility onto Zombs as he tosses it out. There's the snake bite, though, so that's going to delay the defuse for a moment longer, and Poach might just have another one, so they got to send it to him. Zombs through the box, finds the kill, and Sentinels on their first rifle are going to have to try and escape here. Satchel to get away, and Sinatra will stay alive, as will Zom. So everybody there except for that kill coming through at the end. Nobody dying to the spike. Sentinels do let that round go by the wayside, and it's a couple of Vandals, but the rest of the team behind them have to come up huge. If we take a look at the ultimates, even then it's feeling like a rough eco. You're not close to the blades, the lockdown not very close. You're not really close to anything here for Sentinels. So this round, I want to say, should go the way of AndBox. It should be a nice, easy pickup. And the way that the economy is, it might just hurt if you do pick up this round. Sentinels could be in a bad spot in the next.
We're seemingly setting themselves up for disaster if they don't win this. They have invested a good amount of money. I didn't actually get to see how much Sinatra has in reserve. He might still be okay. He might have just bought like right at the margin he needs to have enough next round. But regardless, he has a rifle for this round here, and you have to pay attention to that because we've seen what he can do previously. It's not too unexpected to see it again. I mean, I always need to kind of add a disclaimer and asterisk to everything because there is that pop-off factor. There is that insane play. You always have to account for the wild card, and I think I maybe haven't been giving that enough justice. Sentinels, however, haven't been able to really start anything early on in this round, and as we cross the minute mark, we still stay at a 5v5. There is Poach who's just kind of waiting over towards B, so he is trying to maybe sell something, maybe bait out a rotate or two, and maybe allow his team to push up with him. You see that they're backing out with a spike in tow. This completely opens up an avenue of opportunity as AndBox maybe look to finish things up here over towards B, and only Sinatra as well as Dapper might have a chance to stop this.
Oh, Dapper, unfortunately, not getting any vision over the top of that wall, so not going to spot anybody pushing up, although they know they're there now. No shots to come on through. Nothing early to stop that one. All 10 members still alive here on Icebox. And Marshall, it's a loud one. That gun is the loud one as those shots come on through. They're just sending them from downtown, trying to find anything they can. Sentinels are going to have to pull the trigger here soon, and it's looking like Sinatra trying to do just that. Nice paint shells back towards yellow. 3 members going to be there. Boy going to find the first kill. The satchels put him in a bad spot. Now Android trying to answer back through the smoke. They go, and the kill feed is all red as it's AndBox to look to close this one out. Sick grabs one, but AndBox 5-1 is a favorable trade and another round one. Ito, we are all knotted up at 8.
Sentinels just having trouble. I mean, not having trouble. They're just unreal in some aspects. It's just such a weird position that we have right there. The wall was so good, and they just staved off the inevitable for so long. And AndBox, of course, will be rewarded with the victory there. But I want to point out one player in particular, Ye. He was in such a good position because of the fact that he was at pincer over towards mid. So in case anything went wrong, he was there to trade out, and he didn't really even have to do much, but he still got a kill for his trouble. Look at this fight for the orb. That's actually massive. He's getting a bit closer to that lockdown. Not quite there yet, but keep an eye on that coming. Maybe, if not this round, next round. Overall, though, we again stay quiet here, Tanner. 5v5 around the minute mark. I don't think a frag's going to happen soon, unless, of course, I just cast his person. Shazam, out of nowhere, picks up the first. A couple of good trades as now AndBox looks to pick up the pace, push in immediately. And Sentinels, at least they're dealing with it rather well. They have held the line and not allowing them to go any further. AndBox once again have to reconsider their choices if they even want to be here.
And Poach on the flank. I was putting my eggs in that flank basket, but he whiffs that first shot, tries to go back for the challenge, and that turret. And get the info that he is in fact still there. Spike in the corner. Sick finds another kill. I think that was kind of the last calling card for AndBox. If that flank could have gotten any value, left. Things might have looked to gone their way. Seb now 1v4. A couple of ultimates to worry about. Just the firing squad there. Shazam to net the last kill, but no matter where Seb went, he was going to fall in that. And it took 4 rounds, but Sentinels finally battle back here. And I don't know if you saw at the beginning of that one, Ito, their economy, everybody was just about zeroed out. So a very important round to pick up in that one.
It's pivotal, if I can use that word again. Yes. And really, I mean, as important as that was for Sentinels to piece together, it's not the end of the world for AndBox. It's still Tuesday for them. Their weekdays will continue as they have another buy in play. I mean, they really shouldn't be rattled or shaken by this. They have been able to come back from a lot worse, or at least put up a good fight in a lot of worse situations. They've battled back from 1-5 or 1-6. I can't exactly remember which, but you know, they've already made this so competitive. Once again, if they win this round, they have once again broken the ego of Sentinels. It's another important round for them to put together, as if that last one wasn't already pivotal. Oh, that's such a huge frag to find, though. Of course, you can always count on Sinatra to give you a frag, maybe 2, maybe 4 if he's feeling really on. But hey, this time it's only going to be a one-and-done position. Great kill, great trade. Allows AndBox to even things up once more. Now, what I think they're going to be trying here, not 100% certain, but I think now they start to realize that A is going to be a little bit more free, and that mid has been really successful for them for the most part. They should be able to catch one on rotation here. So they're going to cut noise, try to close the distance as much as possible, and then burst up onto the site, relying on Android for the late flank.
30 seconds left.
Now we're starting to see the plays being made. In his face is Ye, but Shazam sits him down. Seb's able to trade back for 2, and AndBox in the driver's seat. 1 player up, 0 HP on Android, puts him in a precarious spot. He is on the flank, though, and hopefully he can do a better job than Poach in the last 6 to drop down. Nanostorm trying to push him away. No, it's an alarm bot, makes him vulnerable. He gets absolutely melted, and Android on the flank goes good for 1. This now is an awkward spot for Sentinels because the give and take that we have seen not only in the rounds, but more importantly, Sick used the Hunter's Fury Seb had not used the lockdown. Now Seb finally, I think his 4th or 5th lockdown into this game is going to get value because he doesn't have to worry about it getting destroyed. I'm kind of wondering what was going through the minds here, because it could just be another round win by AndBox.
A bit of a Hail Mary, I suppose, and I think right on cue, there actually has been a call for a tactical pause, excuse me. And I think now is a perfect time to do it. Well, maybe not this round, but the next round that they have guns, I think that's when you're really going to start seeing the fruits of their labor, the fruits of these efforts as they ponder their minds and try to find out exactly what's going wrong with AndBox here. Yeah. Because think about that round, is that it started out pretty good. Sentinels, you know, think about Shazam being able to find that initial kill. I think the turning point was really when Seb was able to find that 2K as he kind of danced around the smoke that was set on site. What I think Sentinels probably need to do a little bit more here is... See, it's kind of a big question to make here because you can see everything from the driver's seat. But going off the information that they have available, I think a bit more of an emphasis over towards mid would be really, really important. Because that is not the first, and it definitely won't be the last time that AndBox try to exploit it.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think, if not a little bit more emphasis towards mid, maybe give Shazam an extra hand, because that operator gets put in a really weird spot once you're taking shots and have to reload. You need to try and get out of dodge, and Icebox doesn't necessarily allow for that. Now we do get to see that lockdown come through, but Shazam, operator no more. It only takes one knife to sit down the imposter. Everybody from Sentinels stacked up towards this A site. It's another hit to come through from AndBox, and they just have to get out of dodge. The skill on the Sinatra is huge.
That's huge.
Another, but AndBox are battling back. They back away from the spike. They give up the plant. They play for the gunfights, and they are just online. Now Zombs
Spike planted.
trying to do the unthinkable. It's low HP on one, the Viper's Pit available. This would be the first lead for AndBox should they find this round win. But can Zombs close it out with 71 HP? Low HP onto Android. The kill not going to come through. Zombs will fall. The spike is planted, and AndBox once more grab another round win and their first lead here on Icebox.
That round was so scary. Look, man, Sentinels, it felt like they shouldn't have ever had a chance. Again, consider what they had to work with, but they made it into a 4v5, and they damn near consolidated that into a round of their own. Sinatra, that showstopper, if he had a half a second longer, could have been a 2K. At the very least, a single kill. Poach, undeniably the MVP of that round. And because he got that kill onto Sinatra is why I have to point him out. That was huge for AndBox. They take the lead and they survive the scare of the Sentinels eco. Something to be very terrified of, mind you. They take the lead, like you said, Tanner, and they have a couple more tools to work with here, but keep an eye on that Killjoy lockdown that is in the hands of Dapper. Sentinels, that's going to be their best engine if they want to retake or even just kind of hold the site. They have to play around this ultimate here. You have to give respect to it just because of how important and how massive it is. For right now, though, once again, AndBox look to cut noise, gamble out of rotation if they can, and they're really lucky to find this opening kill, but they're just being watched like a hawk.
Nice paint shells to kick things off. A Paranoia comes through a dash on the site. Yagen with the first to fall. Sentinel trying to tie things up once more, but boy is there to even the odds. There is the Killjoy ultimate you talked about. Maybe it finds something. No, Android on the way out. Gonna pick up Sinatra, so the counterparts are falling one by one. A beautiful op shot goes wide. It splits the upright onto two. Shazam. How did that one miss? He's wishing he had it back with 6. He's trying to close things out. It's Sentinel all around him, and the Viper's Pit means nothing. Seb has to go huge. The turret to fall. It's a 1v3, but it's Dapper. Another imposter down, and Sentinels tie things up once more.
You can never count them out, man. Sentinels are just insane. A 4v5 conversion, and it's another round where I just seem a little bit lost for words because of how many different moving factors there was. But that was, all things considered, a pretty expensive round from Sentinels. They did have to blow the lockdown like I mentioned, and it felt like a high opportunity cost, but they do even things up here. Money still not in the favor, but available for AndBox, so they have another buy in them, but we're not going to be seeing it nearly as flashy as some of these other rounds have been because of the lack of ultimates in play. What you're instead going to see is a bit of a contact play off of this drone. Sinatra has switched up his approach over towards B, and this time has brought verticality as a factor. And thing is, although we're talking about verticality, everything seems to be on an upwards trajectory as Sinatra is single-handedly putting Sentinels on his back. 11 rounds seeming more and more possible, more and more palatable as time goes by. Oh. It's again Sinatra, man. How the hell does he just keep doing it? That was such a good mix-up by B, though. I'm sorry, just to bring that up real quick, is that consider the way that they have been kind of disciplined into playing that round, or to playing that position every single time AndBox. They were not aware that he would just be right behind the box. That was massive. Anyway, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I mean, it's that flare. You could kind of see it, especially early, right? In I think it was the second round of the half where we said, yes, Sinatra is the last one left, but we know he's going to go out with style. He just, on Icebox, you could tell he's just feeling himself, and the gunfights are going his way. Why not keep taking them? Especially when there hasn't been an answer over towards that B side. They had been stacking up 2 for so long, but AndBox just continued to go towards A. The first time they head out towards B, they're not expecting Sinatra to be there, and he gets a huge kill. Now Zom's looking for a good one, but Shazam gonna take it away from him as that Nano Swarm not gonna get popped. It gets taken down, so Zom's gonna be able to hold into his position. Able to use that Shrouded Step should he get into trouble, and Shazam just holding it down. Now this time around, where Zoms is playing, oh my goodness, Shazam just cannot be stopped here.
They don't even get sightline of the site, and they're already dead. Beautiful round already, but it's not over yet. A 3v5 for them to overcome. And this is what I like seeing. AndBox once again having a bit more of an emphasis over towards mid. But Sentinels, they have learned their lesson, and he does the 360 for just the cinematics, the frag movie? I don't even know, but that is one sweet play. Sentinels, they move on to 12. What in the world was that?
Oh, man, there's nothing more fitting than the names of these players on Sentinels, and I'm sure that this has been hounded over and over throughout the entirety of the life of this roster, but every time an op shot comes through, it just makes you want to yell Shazam because he does it in style. And then Sick with a 3K making it look sick, right? It's so fitting for these players to be making the plays that they are making. AndBox now probably not quite as excited as we are for those plays to come on through, as the Arsenal, it's a little dinky here. Guardian in the hands of Boy is able to pop off with this one. We've seen it before. And now a bit different approach as they try and push up through mid, but Shazam with the operator once more is going to have the angles over on this B site. Should be able to find anybody on the flank as well as they smoke that one off. The boombot goes through. No information to be found, and it looks like AndBox. Oh. Okay, a bit of information to be found. I don't think that's going to do a whole lot, though.
Ran out of battery.
And they do seem to be heading back on over towards that A site. It's only been a couple of times towards B, so AndBox maybe giving this one a bit too much love. The read is, I mean, Sentinels just have it. They have it down pat when they come to this A site. They just get stopped. Now AndBox on match point. It's all or nothing here. Sure, they qualify. But where will they be seated? Can they put themselves up in the running? As Zed finds that first kill, they expected Zoms to be there. They find another. Sinatra will fall. Trading a kill onto Boy. There's the Hunter's Fury to come on through, and he's going to find the kill. The spike does go down. He might find another. No, the dash away. Sick. One with the ultimate. As Android trades it back on the flank. Now they have to be wary. Ye comes online as well, and Sick will fall. No 363K this time around. And we are eyeing overtime here on Icebox, Ito.
This is just unbelievable. I still can't get over it, just how some of these rounds are working. Sentinels, one thing I really paraded them for, or at least was cheering them on in my head for, is the fact that they finally gave a little bit more attention over towards mid, but once they give it up, AndBox go back to exploiting it, and they have just been doing such a beautiful job at doing that. Not all of their A splits have been bangers, don't get me wrong, but when they have gotten all the wheels turning, they look like a completely different team. AndBox have put on one hell of a show, and we're not quite done yet, because like you said, overtime seems very much possible. Unfortunately, that's not a clay pigeon that Shazam can shoot down. But you can always talk about how unfortunate this is for Sentinels, and just think about how fortunate this is for AndBox, because look at this, they found a key to victory. The lockdown will be used to start things off here, and the knives, the blade storm right behind it, that's going to be their engine to push. Tanner, this is when all hell will break loose.
Shazam was looking for something spicy on the way out. The A site completely taken. Poach looking to be on the flank once more. Sinatra gonna try again. Tosses out the ultimate, goes good for one. Seb goes down, but he's gonna trade it back. Sick, able to help his fallen teammate and picks up another. He's usually good for a multi-kill. When he grabs one, he grabs two, and he's going to do just that. Now Poach trying to link up with his squad.
enemy
The defuse coming on through. Sick finds a 3K. He will fall, but it's all
That's
down
it.
to Zombs. Sentinels will close it out, and in 2-0 fashion, they will grab this win in the quarterfinals.
Unbelievable theatrics at the end. Sentinels putting on one amazing show. You have to respect
Defenders
it. Their
win.
discipline and just how strong their mental game is.